Is right. The president, this is the president of the United States of America, has pardon or clemency power under Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution. Under the pardon clause, it's just a clause, right? It gives him powers. The clause says the president shall have the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offences against the United States, right? Except in cases of impeachment. While the president's powers to pardon seem unlimited, a presidential pardon can only be issued for a federal crime, and pardons cannot be issued for impeachment cases tried and convicted by Congress. Now, this is the thing, right? You would have thought, in a matter of the election of the President of the United States of America, even though, you're getting on the ballot in every state, and the states have got their own rules, it still is the election of the President of the United States of America contest. It's a federal office. You're running for federal office, right? And in fact, some of these cases are in the Supreme Court, right? Which is federal court, Supreme Court. Now, the thing is this, right? How is it, right? That's an issue against the state, surely. If you did or did not fill the ballot in properly, or put the right information on the ballot, or even do the correct ballot, right? That is between you and the state, innit? It's between you and the government, because obviously who's running the election? The government's running the election, right? You're not doing it against another party. You're not, it's the citizens of the United States of America, right? It's the United States of America, right? Now, this is the thing. If you look at Kennedy, right? They're saying Kennedy put the wrong address down, right? But this is the thing. They're saying that his address, he doesn't, in New York, right? They're claiming that that's not Kennedy's address. That's what they're saying. They're saying that they're effectively, to simplify it, they're saying that's not your address, right? They're saying that in New York, they're saying this is not your address, so your petitions aren't valid. But this is the thing, that's fraud. It's a false address. It's information is not true, is not correct. There's fraudulent information, right? But the thing is, the police, the ballot access people, the people running the election who are checking it, in many of these ballot access cases, like Jill Stein, right, as well for the Green Party, what they're doing is, in some of these election petition things, right? What they're doing is that they were checked, and the officials, that's the word I want, the officials, the appointed officials of the government who are appointed to see if people have filled it in properly and qualify it, they passed it and approved it, right? Now, if you submit something and an official passes and approves it, then officially you haven't done anything wrong. Now, if the official passed and approved it and they shouldn't have done, then aren't they the one who's broke the law or done something false, right? But this is the thing, right? The police didn't, take any action against Kennedy, and the officials didn't take action against Kennedy through the state themselves. It was the opponents, their opposition, the other persons in the contest, the Democrat Party who they're against and some persons affiliated with that side who brought a private suit, or at least who applied to the court to complain that they didn't follow the rules or whatever, and got them struck off. Now, you might say, well, that's a civil action. They're saying, like, they didn't comply with this or they didn't comply with that. But then they're not suing them themselves. It's not like John owes Peter $5 million and he has to prove it in court, or this company owns the rights to this logo and then they prove it in court and the other company loses the rights to the logo, or they were copywriting and they owe them money for they made loads of money out of their things. It actually is the state. Now, this is the thing. If they don't qualify, if the information wasn't correct and doesn't qualify, what they're doing is they're trying to get them struck off. But they themselves don't win anything in that case. They themselves don't win any money. They're not saying that, oh, you know, these forms are filled in wrong, or, you know, this logo belongs to us or not them, and therefore we own it. It's under the state. It's under the state. It is to do. It's you know, they didn't comply with the federal law or all these different state laws for a federal contest, right? But this is the thing: if you don't, they're saying Kennedy put information down which was not true. That's not his address, right? Effectively. Now, this is the thing. Why wasn't he prosecuted for fraud? Can he be prosecuted for fraud in that contest, or is he protected against offences? Have they got immunity from offences? Why didn't the police prosecute him for fraudulently putting an address down on his thing, right? Why didn't the other party bring a prosecution against him for fraud, right? Can a candidate be prosecuted for fraud? If it was fraud, which apparently, if they could bring a civil case against him to say that the information of his address is not right, therefore his entry is not valid, why not? Why not prosecute him and say, oh, you've put a fraudulent address down? You know, not only is it fraudulent, you know, not only is your entry not valid, but it's also an offence as well, a crime. I mean, in England, they're saying that, you know, if you go private, you can prosecute someone and have a civil case. I don't know about jeopardy of law of that, over the same facts and circumstances, but this is the thing, right? Effectively, they're saying that he falsified his address. That's not his real address, effectively, right? Now, but they've chosen to have a civil case against him for the same thing, right? This is the thing, though. If it's a federal offence or federal crime, which you would have thought falsifying your address in New York on the ballot, right, is against the state. Of course it's against the state, right? That means that you can petition the president for a pardon. It says here, it's petitionable. That means that the president can be your judge. There's even a form. There's a form that you can fill in. Here it says, look, how to get a presidential pardon. The petition shall be addressed to the President of the United States and shall be submitted to the pardon attorney. There's a special pardon attorney, Department of Justice, Washington, D.C., 20530, except for petitions relating to the military offences. Petitions and other required forms may be obtained from the pardon attorney. So why don't they fill one in for Kennedy in New York? Why don't they fill one into the pardon attorney for Kennedy in New York? It's still, see, the president's the judge. But this is the thing. If the president is your judge, but your opponent is Biden, doesn't matter whether it's Biden or Harris, right? Then they are actually the judge and the decider. But how can your opponent in the contest, who's bringing a suit against you, right, also be your judge? It's not possible. because that means that the judge would be in the court like doppelganger, would be like, like a double, standing double. Could be Biden sat there as president, and then Biden is the person who brought the case against you that you want him pardoned. It's almost like a Scooby-Doo ending. Now, the thing is, if Kamala Harris or the Democrat Party, whatever you want to call it, Democratic Convention or Kamala or Biden or whatever, or them as a party or a group or whatever, but theoretically, it can be, they're making out that they can bring a civil case against Kennedy. So it might as well be, Harris or Biden, whatever. Well, if they can bring a civil case against him, then surely they can bring a prosecution against him as well. If they can bring legal law against him, then they're making out that they can bring a case to court, Supreme Court. Well, that means it could be criminal or civil. But if they did bring a criminal one, well, for the same facts and circumstances, if you want to prosecute someone criminally, apparently you can, right? It's like, upsetting like, civil marriage, because, apparently once you're married, your things belong to the entity, the marriage entity, your possessions and things, so you get divorced and you've got to decide who's and what's. But you could, if they've got your things, I think you can prosecute them for theft, or just claim that it's yours or whatever. Some situations you can do civil or criminal, but the thing is, they're saying that they can have a case, or they can do a case, right? But this is the thing: if the Democrats can bring a civil suit against Kennedy, right, for putting the incorrect information on the ballot and invalidating it, surely it's a false address. Surely the address is false. He falsified the address, because they're saying the same thing. The address that's not his address. Either it is or it isn't, right? But they're saying because it isn't his address, they don't want him on the ballot, right? But why not say it's not the right address, therefore it's false? It's not real, it's false. So it's the same thing. So why not say, well, it's a false address, so that's fraud. It's a fraudulent address. Exactly the same thing, right? So that means that it's a fraudulent address, so he's a criminal. He's fraud. He falsified it. In that case, he can petition the president for a pardon, because it's a matter between him and the state. It's a federal offence. It's a federal crime, because it's a presidential campaign. If that's the case, right, if Biden prosecutes him, then how can Biden prosecute him when Biden's the president and he's sending an appeal to the person who prosecuted him? Right? This is the thing. This is what I'm saying. If they would have prosecuted him for fraud, instead of just saying the address is false, we want him struck off the ballot, why aren't they saying we want him in prison as well, because he's a fraudster? Right? Same thing. So, I'm quite sure that this pardon thing, it's to do with federal law and against the state. Surely, if you're in a presidential election campaign and you put something down wrong on a form, and they're saying that it's invalidating it, or it's not valid, that is a legal matter between you and the state under federal law, surely, because it's Supreme Court. But so you can theoretically pardon for that. There's something really, 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 there's something, this is why I think the 501c3 thing, you see, in the original Constitution, you don't have any candidate liability, because they haven't got any procedures. All the voters have the procedures. They just turn up and vote, right? All you've got to do is, shout through megaphones, advertise, appeal to the public. This is the thing. It says here, look, Republican President Nixon. Oh no, where's that other bit? There's another bit. This is important here anyway. This is the process. So there's actually a proper form and application. I'd fill this in. I'd fill it in and ask for a pardon for it, see what the Attorney General does. I'd fill it in and see what the Attorney General does. I might get the form and fill it in. Hold on a second. There's something to do with. There was another important thing here as well. There was something to do with Trump. Oh, this is it here, look. This is it, look. According to the Justice Department, President Trump has issued pardons and granted clemency to more than 90 people. This is when Trump was in since 2007. Among the most recent recipients were former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort and former campaign advisor. So that's to do with campaign issues. These are people who are running campaigns. I don't know if it is some. Well, obviously, if Trump's campaign wasn't valid, then surely he wouldn't have become president. He wouldn't have been able to get to president. But there's some pardon here connected to people who were involved in campaigns. I don't know what their offences were. I'll have to check. This is it here, look. Trump commutes sentence of Roger Stone in case too long denounced. The president's friend had been convicted of impeding a... What the This is one of those stupid newspaper sites. Wait, won't even let you read the story. Try read a different one. Roger Stone sentenced to 40 months in prison despite requests for a new trial. Spokeswoman appeals to Trump for a pardon after judge hands down a sentence that was less than originally asked for by prosecutors. Roger Stone, longtime ally of Donald Trump and self-described political data trickster, was sentenced on Thursday to more than 3 years in prison for his attempts to sabotage a Congress investigation that posed a political threat to the president. Tried to stop a Congress investigation. So Congress wanted to investigate. He tried to stop it, but it was in relation to something involving the president. Well, it's involving the president when he's running for president, isn't it? Surely that's like Congress, that's the government running and operating something, an investigation, and a person doing something to get in its way. Well, when you're trying to get on the ballot, isn't that something in connection with the president? Like Congress are running an investigation. Just a minute. Aren't Congress, aka the federal government, running an election? It's called the presidential election. Isn't that a bit like Congress running an investigation or running any other process or procedure? Someone tried to obstruct it or get in the way. Hey, just a minute. Kennedy apparently got in the way of the Democrats by, getting himself on the ballot unlawfully, according to them. So they got him off it. He wasn't Kennedy trying to get in the way of the Democrats winning, just like this guy was trying to get in the way of Congress's investigation. So this guy got pardoned for getting in the way. Kennedy, if he'd have got on the ballot, he'd have got in the way of Biden. So, can he be pardoned by the president? Oh, just a minute. It was the president that was bringing the case against him. In handing down the sentence, Judge Amy Behrman Jackson of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, Lamston, 7, Collins attempts to thwart congressional inquiry of great national significance, a threat to our most fundamental institutions, to the very foundation of democracy. Isn't that what the Democrats are doing to Kennedy, calling him out on these things when their appointed official, passed it and approved it? Who says it was okay? I can't see how they're taking him to. I can't see how he can land up in court, because if you've got a strict process to enter something, right, then you've got these officials, right? Don't they, like when you walk up to the counter, to send something to the post office, you go, here, I'd like to send this parcel, please. Oh, we've got a very strict regime in place here. Let me have a look. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you can't send that, sir. You haven't filled the form in properly. You'll have to go and do it right. Hey, I'd like to be the President of the United States of America, please. Well, you're in the right place. This is New York. Come get yourself on the ballot. Fill these forms in. There you go. I'm handing them in. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, yes, that's okay, sir. That's fine. Thank you. On you go. And under just a minute, you filled it in wrong, sir. We cannot accept these. You'll have to go do it again properly. No. We'll accept them. 3 days later, this is the president. I'm going to have to intervene and bring a suit against Mr. Kennedy. He's not filled them in. Well, I approved them only 3 days ago. It's my job to check those. No, well, you're not doing your job properly, are you? I'm the president around here. No. So can I seek a pardon then, sir, please? Pardon me, sir. That's my job. The judge is on holiday this week. Oh, we'll have to. The president. What the hell's going on with this? I don't know what's going on now. Anyway, this is to do with elections. You can get pardoned for offences or legal issues to do with elections. Obstruction of an official. I don't know. Well, aren't the officials the one who check the ballots? The officials are the one who check the ballots. Is it like deceiving an official? And they're like deceiving an official. Deceived an official. Found guilty on 7 counts. Campaign advisor. He got prosecuted. So what? And he got pardoned. So why aren't they prosecuting Kennedy? That's the thing. Why aren't the Democrats prosecuting Kennedy? Why aren't they prosecuting him for forgery? For giving a false address of New York. He's a criminal. He falsified his address on a federal ballot form, right? So like Biden and the vice president are prosecuting him, right? But just a minute, just a minute. Oh, can I ask your pardon, sir? I'll ask Biden for a pardon. He's sat in the chair. Who brought this case against you? Well, you did. I'm the judge. This is the thing, because this is what the police do, isn't it? The police are the state impartial, the Attorney General. But this is the thing. Biden's bringing it privately. He's bringing it private, a private suit. How can you bring a private suit? If Biden was bringing it as, the federal United States of America, but he's not. They're doing it. They've got these private lawyers. So what are all these attorney generals doing, and these pardon attorneys and all these other people? This is the thing. If Biden, why didn't Biden, as the commander-in-chief of the executive of the United States, just get the police to go and arrest Kennedy for fraud, giving a falsified address, getting prosecuted with the prosecutors, with the Attorney General, who's on the payroll of the government, to prosecute him, right? And then, he got to prison. And then he definitely won't be able to go into the, won't be on the ballot because he'll be in jail. this is the thing. We'll only appeal to the president for a pardon, but they didn't. They haven't brought it. They've done this all private. You can't have Biden coming in privately, because therefore, who is the person who brought the suit? There's something very strange about it, particularly when they've got these army of lawyers who are all making private profits out of it, privately, like private, all this Democrat money. All these massive amounts of Democrat sponsorship money seems to be going to all these armies of lawyers who are making a private personal profit out of a election. Elections ought to be free. It's not only costing the tax, but, this is the thing. If Kennedy falsified his address on the ballot, the police are already paid for. It's an army of lawyers. Oh, it's okay. So we've got an army of police here, paid for by the taxpayer. All those Democrat voters. Well, it's all right. The Democrat voters are paying for the police and an army and attorney of generals. This is like some kind of expenses scam, like money laundering. This is like what's going on with UPS at the moment. Oh, you paid £2 over the import tax duty. Now you'll have to pay import duty, and we're having another additional charge on there as well for handling it. Well, I'm exempt from tax. Well, you have to prove it to the HM Customs. There we go. And I get my tax money back. Well, what about that extra handling fee that you charged? Oh, well, you can't get that back. But I'm doomed to have to pay it then, even if I'm exempt. Why don't you accept my exemption? Oh, no, we can't accept your exemption. You'll have to apply to the government. Well, that means that if it's over a certain amount, you're going to be making money out of me, even if I'm exempt. It's like a guarantee. If they're not making enough money out of us they're meant to be a business who provides a service for profit. Hey, we're selling delivery. Well, are you making profit on that? Yeah, it's a business. It's already a rip-off, but then we're not making enough money out of that. So now when we, take the money off you for government, we're going to have to charge you for that service as well. And we can make some money out of that on top. Extra profits, not just, covering the costs of it. It's how much money are these people taking off us? And where is it all going? They're even taking money out of election process now. If someone falsifies their address in a federal process, you would have thought the FBI would have been straight in there. You've got this badass FBI who are meant to be like, fucking Utah, fucking Angelo, fucking take the skin off my chicken, right? Really serious bad boy fucking Air Force One, on the fucking BBC. We've hijacked a plane coming in from fucking Argentina. He's been illegally bought and all this serious badass bullshit, right? Yeah. Why aren't the FBI, why aren't there like a fucking Point Break fucking raid on Kennedy's house when he's falsified his address on the election? Why aren't the FBI fucking jumping on him and taking him in? You falsified your address. The Attorney General, an army of lawyers, private bounty hunters now, apparently paid for by the Democrats. Like extra money. Never need a tip. This is the FBI tip form. Is this a crime or is this a federal? Is this a crime against the state? Or is it just a lover's tiff between Biden and, why didn't Biden just send the police ramp to arrest Kennedy? He would have saved the hell of a lot of money for the Democrat. Wouldn't it have saved a bit of money for the Democrats' campaign fund? Never mind him using all Kennedy's money up on his own security because, apparently, Kennedy's got to pay for his own security because they wouldn't give him federal protection. He's not wasting Kennedy's campaign money. They're wasting their own campaign money by getting all these private solicitors in to bring a civil suit to get him kicked off the ballot. When if they had that much evidence that he wasn't his address, Why don't they prosecute him for, fraud? Because, it would have saved a hell of a lot of money than all these private lawyers. The Attorney General done it for cheap, because isn't that what he's paid to do in the first place? Same evidence. There's some kind of very strange things going on with money in these things, and it seems to be going into the big private entity. I'd have every single one of those fucking lawyers locked up in prison, because what they're doing is they are stealing money. They're stealing campaign money. What they're doing is that the FBI and the police, their job, right? What they're actually doing is they are all the people who donate to the Democrats, they're using that money for private personal profit out of an election process, when when they've already paid their taxes for enforcement of the process. That's what the officials are meant to be there to check it. There's something just so financially corrupt about it as well. The financial corruption in it, when people have paid their taxes, is just wrong. And surely it's a process that is. Why are they taking private action? Private action.